Hey guys, welcome back to Black Magic Craft. Today, we're going to be taking a look at two more offerings in the Mantic Games terrain crate line. And I do want to say very clearly that this is a sponsored video in order to bring more awareness to this product. However, everything I say in here is my opinion and mine alone. I previously showed this line, different sets, in another video. You can check that one out if you want. But today we're going to be looking at two new offerings in that line that they now have available. The Town Center set and the Battlefield set. These were launched in a massively successful Kickstarter. A lot of people already have them, but now more of it's becoming available on the retail market. First things first, Terrain Crate, the name probably leads you to believe this is some sort of monthly subscription box service, but it is not. It's just called that because it's a bunch of terrain in a crate-like box, but this is just buy it off the shelf. It's not a subscription thing. Inside each of these boxes is a variety of terrain pieces ranging in size, but all kind of in theme with that set, although there is some crossover between the different sets. Let's take a look at the Town Center one. There's 69 individual pieces in here, and they range a lot in terms of size. There's a few really big kind of set piece items like the obelisk. I think that's what it is an obelisk. There's a forge, there's a hangman's gallows, there's wells, those sort of big piece items. But there's also a ton, an absolute ton of really small, highly detailed fiddly bits. And these little pieces are really best suited to be integrated into dioramas or scatter terrain or your own builds. The pieces are all made out of a medium hardness plastic. They're not very hard, they're not super soft, they're kind of in between. They're bendable, similar to Reaper Bones material. This is an advantage and also a disadvantage of these pieces. The great thing is that they're super durable. You can throw them at a brick wall, they're not gonna break. You could dump them all in a backpack and pieces aren't gonna snap off. They're just gonna bend. The downside, however, is that on long, skinny pieces, they have a tendency to be really warped and bent. Now, this can be corrected by heating them and dipping them in ice water to reform them back to straight, but let's be realistic, that's a big pain in the butt and no one really wants to do that. It wasn't a problem on that many pieces. In the town set, out of the 69 pieces, there was maybe 4 or 5 that came bent like this, but it's something I do want you to know that you should expect to encounter on at least a couple pieces. That being said, the types of pieces that this was a problem on are the types that you probably wouldn't be using on their own anyway, especially the market stall stands. They were super bent. Even if they weren't, they're not gonna stand up on their own. These pieces would be far better suited to be glued to bases, integrated with multiple pieces into dioramas or scatter terrain, and this would solve the problem of the warping as you would just glue them in place. And that leads me to the next point I want to make about these sets. They're marketed as ready to use, well, aside from paint, out of the box, throw them on your table, you have instant terrain. And I think that's only true of some of the pieces. The bigger ones, absolutely, you can just use, but a lot of these pieces are so incredibly small, there's no realistic way you're using these on your table. The pieces are just too fiddly. But I also think that's the biggest perk about these sets, is that they come with all these really small pieces that are the types of things that are impossible or at least really difficult to craft yourself, and you can integrate these in with your own do-it-yourself terrain that you're building or dioramas. It's great to mix them into the stuff you're building anyway, or just combine a bunch of these into one piece, because these little fiddly bits, if you just put them on the table as is, they're gonna get lost probably, but glue them on something bigger and they're gonna look awesome. In terms of painting these, I covered that more in detail in the first video. I found that they did not require any primer, and actually they had a bad reaction to rattle can primer. And the best method I found was just to paint them directly with acrylic paint, either craft paint or miniature paint. It bonded and stuck really well. You just have to make sure that you wash them with warm soapy water and let them dry completely to get off any mold release. And then after that, they are really easy to paint. Now, the second set is this Battlefield set. This one isn't quite as large in terms of individual pieces as the town one. There's 42 pieces in the set. However, overall, the pieces are on average significantly larger. This is mostly larger pieces, so there's less of them, but I think volume of plastic, there might actually be more in this set than the town one. Most of it's comprised of things like fence pieces, shrubs, you got some tents, and then a bunch of just little campsite pieces like fire, wood chopping, blocks, bedrolls, and that sort of thing. And again, I think a lot of these pieces would be too small and delicate to use on their own and would be better suited to be glued to some bases. Even the fences, although they're larger, they're very narrow, and realistically, they're probably gonna fall down if you just use them as is. I would be more inclined to glue them to some wider bases, decorate those bases, then they will sit nice and straight and they won't fall over. Now, these two sets that we're looking at here are only two of them. There's actually several that are available in different themes, and there's also a variety of sizes available. They have little tiny sets, I think medium ones and bigger ones. The pricing is really reasonable on these for what you get. If you just want to dip your toes in it, see what they're like, you can buy one of the really small sets just to get a taste for what they're all about, to see if you want to invest in one of the bigger ones. Now, I will put links below to where you can get these. I will put some links to Amazon. Those are my affiliate links, but I have a feeling that the stock on Amazon is going to be fairly limited and they'll probably sell out immediately. So I will also put links to Mantic Games website because you can buy it directly from them and they should have everything in stock, although they're located in the UK. So depends where you are if you want to do that. The nice thing about these is that they are a retail product. They should be available in your favorite local game store. And I highly encourage you to head down to your local game store to pick these up if you are thinking of getting them, because they could really use the support. If they don't have it in stock, they can get them. So ask them to order it for you if you're interested. Now, I've told you about these and let you know my thoughts, but you don't have to take my word for it. There's a lot of viewers out there who already have these sets from the Kickstarter, or maybe they picked some up after my last video. What I'd like you to do, if you own some of these Terrain Crate products, is let everybody know in the comment section what you think about them. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're worth the money? Do you think they're a good product? Do you think they're bad? Whatever. Because you don't have to take my word for it. Take everybody else's word for it. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys found this product demonstration interesting and valuable. And, well, let me know what you think. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. That's it for this week, guys. Well, not for this week. That's it for this Tuesday, guys. I'll see you again on Friday. Cheers.